Hello everyone and welcome back to Cameo's episode 3. It's been a while, so I'm sure you guys want me to start already. That being said, let's get right back into it. Number 1. Kazuki. I don't have a long, heart-throbbing story about our friendship here, but Kazuki certainly is a nice and funny dude I've been running into pretty much everywhere. I met him at my first cosplay meeting in Amsterdam 2015. Ever since, I've been running into him everywhere, and he always comes to hang out on camera, which is always fun, since he often also has his hyper moments. Number 2. Manwai, or YY. I just like to call him YY. Manwai is one of the friends I met at Rimu's UCM cosplay meeting in 2015. He's a funny dude and always made me laugh with the weird things he often said. In the beginning I thought he was funny and weird, but didn't necessarily think we'd become close. Soon after we started hanging out at cons, and from cons we went to more meetings, and eventually we often went to parties and sleepovers together. One of the things I liked about this guy is how he literally for a while did what I wish I could have. Every single day, when he feels like it, traveling to whatever friend he's close to or has a connection with, no matter where they live. Anyways, Manwai also appeared in a lot of vlogs. Whether it was a con, or a meeting, or a sleepover, he was basically everywhere, and kinda still is. But he also kinda does have his moments of running away. Number 3. Kun. Kun is also a very good friend of mine I met on UCM cosplay meeting 2015. Along with previously mentioned Jesly, Bo, Mimi, and Manwai, we kind of became a group for a while after that meeting. It's funny thinking back how Kun and I became friends, since that day at the meeting, he didn't know any of us yet. Majority of the people at the end of the day were all strangers to him. Anyways, soon after, also Kun started showing up more and more. Whether it was meetings, sleepovers, parties, or a con, he would pretty much be everywhere. He's always been a super friendly and humble guy, which I really admire him for. Also, Kun is a person I also went from group to group with, and eventually he just became a friend aside from any groups. All in all, he's a really friendly dude and at times surprises you with a bit of crazy. Number 4. Johanna. Johanna certainly is one of the people appearing almost everywhere I go. She's a very great cosplayer and always amazes me with what she pulls off, cause I really do think she looks good. I met Johanna actually quite before my con day started. I think it was somewhere in 2014 where I with a group of friends went to a bubble tea shop called Nom Nom. A friend of mine at the time worked there, and as I recall, so did Johanna, if I'm correct that is. At the time I had little to no interaction with her at all, and we didn't really know each other, but I do remember still having had several of people in the Nom Nom group on my Facebook, even though we had little to no interaction. It helped us basically not to forget about each other entirely, because when I in 2015 started actively going to cons, I started running into her. For a while, we still didn't really communicate, perhaps not being sure whether the other party would remember one another, but quickly we started finally communicating. Ever since, I have been running into Johanna everywhere basically. Meetings, events, conventions, heck, even a sleepover as I remember. Long story short, she more or less feels like a big sis type of person, and it's really great. Number 5. Maru, or Maho Maru. Maru is a great cosplayer and one of my best friends that I met at Tomo Fair 2015. I remember how she already walked with Callista the entire day at Abunai, and I didn't really talk to her or communicate with her at all. After I got back home from the con, it appeared that I already had her on Facebook and did recognize her, but only realized it when I got home that she was in fact that person Callista walked with the entire day at Abunai. When I found out, I started chatting with Maru, and she was very cute and nice of a girl to talk with. We often talked about anime, music, and stuff we'd like to cover. Oh, and we always would have some random ass conversation in Japanese together over voice messages. This was just something that happened occasionally, not too much yet, until I met Maru 1 month later on 2015 Tomo Fair, where I hadn't recognized her for about 80% of the day. Once I actually recognized her, we started communicating a bit more. Ever since that day, I hadn't really seen her too often, and we didn't really talk that much either. All until end of 2015 when I randomly created the previously mentioned chat with, at the time, a lot of Callista's friends, since I didn't know them all perfectly well. The chat blew up and it worked in my favor. End of 2015, somewhere in December, I decided to make a weird animation for my YouTube channel. It was about a slightly aggressive tomboy girl trying to get a guy she found interesting to date her by force. I back then chose Maru to do the voice of this character in Japanese, and it turned out really well. In 2016 Tsunakon, I for the first time properly hung out with Maru. We spent all day together with the group mostly and got to know each other a bit better. I soon after started hanging out with her at con after con, growing closer. We even started going sleepovers at Callista's place. Maru, just like Callista, started joining me in sketches on my channel and voicing in my animations, which really makes me happy. We over the year in 2016 in general just saw each other a lot. This is basically how I figured out that she's messed up in the head, for real. But in all seriousness, Maru is a real amazing friend and I started caring about her a lot. I have a tendency of telling her how trash she is, but she is a really amazing friend and she means a lot to me. And I'm very happy we became close friends. Number 6. Rob. Rob, just like Kazuki, is one of the people I met at Amsterdam cosplay meeting. This dude was everywhere, seriously. My mom even ended up calling him that Naruto dude. Everywhere I go, or majority of the time I ran into him on cons and meetings, he was a Naruto cosplayer. Rob is a very funny guy that always comes to hang out on camera. He has this thing where he always throws his face in the camera every time I see him. It's pretty funny, but yeah, cool dude, real meme addict, but also very friendly every time I see him, so yeah. Number 7. Bus. Bus is one heck of a nice dude I met at Amsterdam cosplay meeting 2015. He's a musically talented, funny guy that to me appears like a person with a big heart. He's very caring and always kinda has been, and he's also really funny. After I met him on a meeting, I also started running into him at almost every con pretty much. I always have a couple of times where I hung out with him on camera for a while, and his appearances on camera are always cheerful. He's also one of the people that makes my life easier during the subtitles of the video because he also naturally speaks English in my videos, so thank you. Soon after Abonai 2015, he got himself a girlfriend, Danny. She's a very cute and funny girl that always stands by his side. I ever since have been running into them together and it's really fun to talk to them at cons and meetings. They even participated in one of my sketches back in 2015 Nishikon. It was really fun and I hope for them to participate in some new videos someday. Number 8. Levi. Levi is certainly one of the funnier people I met during my con journey. He was hanging out with Manwai at Abonai 2015 and so happened to be around me a couple of times that day. Back then we didn't really talk a crazy amount or anything, so we didn't yet get to properly meet. Soon after, Chanel and some others made a Skype group, and he was part of that group. So I soon got to know him a lot better, and we started Skyping almost every day at the time. We watched movies together, pulled all-nighters, watched anime. It was really cool getting to know each other that way. Eventually we finally started meeting more, going to sleepovers at Chanel's place, meeting at cons, even going to meetings together. We tended to make this weird joke about him being a fuckboy, even though he wasn't, and always either called him the fuckboy or weeb boy, for several reasons. I also once stayed at Levi's place and met his dad and brother, which was also pretty cool. He's a real fun guy in general, and I nowadays don't really see him as often anymore, or don't really talk too much anymore, but we at cons still run into each other and sometimes at meetings. The moments we do see each other, we hang out pretty normally, so that's nice. Number 9. Rimu. Finally, you made it. Okay, but let's get going. Rimu is a friend I met in 2014 when I had a period where I didn't want to hang out with anyone in my environment anymore. I stayed at home a lot more and I basically got to know an entire community online. Whether it be Utao, Vocaloid, voice acting, or Utaite related, Rimu had some stuff to do with it. I back then had friends from mostly completely different countries and didn't really have many friends in the anime community in the Netherlands yet. I remember being very active on SoundCloud with my music and covers, and one day got followed by an Utao user. This was when I had very few followers, so it meant a lot to me. I then went to their page and noticed them being from the Netherlands. This got me to stalk the living crap out of this person and soon saw Rimu's DeviantArt, where I saw that she was a cosplayer from the Netherlands. I contacted her and we started chatting, Skyping, etc. And we for a while got pretty close. It was really cool. It was soon after that having met Rimu created several new friendships I have today. Starting off, it was Rimu that got me to meet Natalie, since I had a pretty popular post on SoundCloud, the Senpai song Ratchet version, a gangster rap parody on the well-known Cute Senpai song. She sent that to Natalie at the time, causing Natalie to be completely sold since she found it so funny and she insisted on meeting me. So Rimu gave her my Facebook and there we had that. Second of all, it was because Rimu had a photo shoot in the woods with Kira that I got interested in who Kira was, and that's how I eventually started chatting with Kira. Third of all, at the time, Rimu and Chanel were that duo. So because of Rimu, I met Chanel, and that's why we even communicated that much after we went to TomoCon. So yeah. And as last, Rimu's UCM cosplay meeting got me to meet a list of people that eventually linked me to so many new ones I know right now. But anyways, to wrap this up, I really respect Rimu as a person. We don't really communicate too much anymore, but it was really fun while it lasted. She got me a nice start in the anime community. She had me meet some nice people that got me to meet even more. She used to voice act with me several times, and thinking back, she even joined me in a chorus battle in the itsTheCarlChannel community, which was really cool, being in a group and making Vocaloid covers. We share many nice moments and it sure is a great friend. Number 10, Fleur. Fleur at the moment is one of my best friends and an amazing cosplayer I met at Open Eye 2015. Unlike many others, I actually found her Instagram before I met her in person, so I was a follower of hers, and I really admired her cosplays that I saw at the time. I for a while didn't even know that she was a Dutch cosplayer, and soon I came to figure out that she was, and she eventually started following me as well. We then started chatting in DMs, and that soon became WhatsApp. We decided to meet up at the next con that was about to come, which was Open Eye 2015. Once that day came, I saw Fleur walking with Callista's squad, and for the longest time, wasn't sure if it was her or not. When I figured it out, I was too awkward to go up to her and talk with her. So what I did instead, to be sure, was message her on WhatsApp to ask her if she was in fact with Callista's squad. She then said that she indeed was, and I asked her if she had seen me around. She said yes, and I wondered why she hadn't said anything. She then said that she as well found it kind of awkward and didn't know how to approach me, which was a mutual thing, ironically. Anyway, soon after I ran into her more and more at cons. She always seemed like this cute little girl when I often met her. Boy, was I wrong.
Dat maakt me echt oprecht boos. Ik ben echt heel boos. Nee, maar ik ben echt heel boos.
Once she became part of my inner circle of friends, I came to know how much of a weirdo this girl actually is. Not that it's a problem or anything, it's pretty funny. We also got closer and closer over time. We hang out at every con, see each other at sleepovers, both chat or Skype on a regular basis. I'm also really happy to have met Fleur, and she's really someone that makes me laugh very easily, especially her love for chicken. Whoa, that's some serious stuff, seriously. But that was all of them for this episode. I hope you guys still like this series. Hit the like button if you do, and I'll see you guys next episode.